Sing, talk, read, write, play.
Hello, grown-ups, and welcome back to episode 2, I guess.
Yes.
Video 2 of Sing, Talk, Read, Write, Play for grown-ups with Miss Sarah and myself, Miss Nancy.
So first of all, we'd like to thank Saroj Goding. She is an early childhood consultant. She's also an author. She's also our teacher from Library Juice Academy.
I like the word rock star.
Overall early literacy rock star. We'd like to thank her for teaching us a little of what she knows. So Saroj would tell you that early literacy is not teaching your child how to read. We want to be very clear about that. Early literacy is everything your child knows about reading and writing before they can actually read and write. And you can do 5 simple things, we say before every story time, 5 simple things to help your child build those early literacy skills. And that is sing, talk, read, write, and play. Would you like to sing?
Gosh, no. But I'll talk.
Sing, talk, read, write, play. Sing, talk, read, write, play. Sing, talk, read, write, play. Growing readers every day. There you go.
I used the right tune that time.
You did. So we like to sing that before story time to remind all the grown-ups, caregivers, anyone who brings these children to story time, that they play a crucial part in their child's early literacy development. So we only get to see your child a short amount of time, but we just wanted to kind of explain why we are concentrating on sing, talk, read, write, and play.
So singing is really important because it slows down language, and it makes it easier to hear those little sounds inside words, which will make it easier for your children to be able to sound out words when they're getting ready to read.
Right. And talking, children learn their language by listening to each other talk. And there's that great video of the dad and the little one sitting on the couch, and they take turns
Even though
in
he's
the
not really saying
conversation.
anything.
It's complete babble, but the dad will say something and the little boy will wait, and then he'll come in and he'll chime in, and then the dad will interact. So even learning just how a conversation happens with taking turns, it's important to practice talking in order to do that, so they learn how language really works.
Yeah, and there's some statistic about, the more words children hear, the wider their vocabulary. So my children should be very well spoken. Reading together helps increase a child's vocabulary because the language inside a book tends to be richer than the language that we speak every day. It also increases your child's knowledge about the world, which I think we call background knowledge.
Yes.
It teaches them that print has meaning, that those little funny symbols actually have some kind of meaning behind them. And it teaches them how a book works, that we read it, not like this, and that we read from left to right in English. And that kind of stuff.
Okay, so sing, talk, read, write. So writing is important too. And when we're talking about writing, we don't necessarily mean writing out the alphabet or different things. No. So just practicing that pincer grip. So they can start with different toys help with that pincer grip. So writing represents that spoken language. And when they can practice that, whether it starts as scribbles, then goes into shapes, then goes into letters, they have a lot of pre-reading skills through just drawing and doodling as well.
Right. And then playing is great because it enables kids to think symbolically. The banana as the telephone, the box as the car, and it enables them to express themselves and put their thoughts into words.
Perfect. And sing, talk, read, write, play, pretty simple. Everything that you do with them already, you're doing a great job, so kudos to you. But for today's lesson, we're going to be putting those in there a little bit. But our number one takeaway from today's episode is
read books that you enjoy reading. And I'm not saying all the time. You are going to have to read those snoozy ones over and over and over that your kid loves. But the whole idea here is to instill a love of reading in your child. And if you love the book you read, and I love the book I'm reading today, it's contagious, and your child will sense your enthusiasm, and they will associate great warm feelings with reading. So that's what we're aiming for here, to get their enthusiasm going and entering kindergarten ready to learn.
right. Not ready to read,
Ready
just
to learn.
ready to learn. All right, so I'll start with our first book for babies. And this title is called Making Faces, a First Book of Emotions. So the last time I talked about some books with feeling words and the importance of that, and all of that is true for this one too. Miss Nancy talked about the sturdy pages, which are good for the baby to bat or even chew on. All of those things are the same. This book I absolutely loved just because it has actual photographs of babies, and babies love to look at other babies. So this one says, look at happy baby. Can you make a happy face? So it's asking your child to mimic that, to see what they see here, and then to also give you a little smile with those little beautiful little teeth. And then it says, find the happy baby. So I like this book because you are going to then be matching. Does this look the same as this? No. Does this baby look the same as this baby? Yes. And those similarities and differences are important to point out to your children. Look at this sad baby. Oh, she just breaks my heart. Can you find the sad face? So you can go around to all of these. They can name the emotions. They can look at them. For now, baby just might be looking at it, and you can add all of that talk to it as well. But my very favorite is at the end, your child becomes part of the book. So happy baby, sad baby, angry baby, surprise baby, silly baby, and you, with this kind of gross mirror from all of our, I think, Clorox wipes left a little residue there. But also there were many diverse faces in this book, and that is important to start your child looking at people that don't always look exactly like them. And we have global baby girls and global baby boys. Once again, also some great pictures. Actual photographs of real babies.
Canada.
Some look like
That's
them.
a poser baby.
Some might not look like them. So all of these are great board books for your children. And then to tie into the Sing, Talk, Read, Write, Play, after you read Making Faces, you could sing 1, 2 hands, 1, 2 eyes, 1, 2 ears, and a nose my size, while looking at these babies, pointing out that all of these babies have all of those parts. Or you can do 2 little eyes to look around, 2 little ears to hear a sound, 1 little nose to smell something sweet, and 1 little mouth that likes to eat. Yum, 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 yum. So lots of things that we do in Mother Goose on the Loose or Toddler Tuesday, you can tie in if it fits with that book. All right, so I think I go to the next one.
Yeah, sorry, Miss Sarah's up again.
Double dipping on me. So our next story is Dancing Feet. This one's more for toddlers, by Lindsay Craig and Mark Brown. And this story I like because it is going to give us the chance to beat out the sounds. So tippity, tippity, little black feet. Who is dancing that tippity beat? So when we break down, like Miss Nancy said earlier with singing, when you break it down into smaller parts, it's easier for your child to hear. And then beating out the sounds also breaks it up into those syllables. So you could also turn this kind of into a fun game, adding the play element by saying, well, look at all these tiny little feet. I wonder who's dancing that tippity beat. They're red with black spots. Who could that be? Ladybugs. Ladybugs are dancing on tippity feet. Tippity, tippity, happy feet.
Well, this guy's not looking so happy.
Well, he has a foot in his eyeball. That would make you grouchy too.
You are correct.
So, stompity, stompity, big gray feet. Who is dancing that stompity beat? And if we continue with our game asking, I wonder who that is, your child's pulling from that background knowledge that they already have, whether it's from a trip to the zoo, where they actually saw an elephant, or a previous story time. So they might be able to guess, hey, that's an elephant. So doing the stompity, stompity, and having your child do that back to you, it's helping build their listening skills too. And we all know we want those listening skills to be better in our young toddlers.
And our adult friends generally too.
Coworkers, all of that. Anyway, so like for this one, slappity, slappity. If your child's struggling to guess, you could say, look at their orange feet underwater to give them some clues. This animal's yellow. He lives in the water. All ducks are dancing on slappity feet. Can you copy it with me? Slappity, slappity, happy feet. So those are some visual clues that you can use tied in with their background knowledge to make it a little bit of a game. Especially if this is like one of those ones you read 8,000 times, you might need to switch it up so you yourself aren't quite that bored.
It's cute.
After the story, you could always kind of see what your kids are retaining and say, ooh, who had the smallest feet? Who had the biggest feet? And then to add in an extension activity with write, you could have your child put their foot down on a piece of paper and practice tracing their own feet. Now, can you trace mommy's feet? Now, can you trace daddy's feet? And then you could say, oh, who has the smallest feet in our family? And even though you're not writing out a letter A, them holding that big chunky crayon and tracing around their feet is building those skills that they need to start writing.
Awesome. Okay, and now the moment we've all been waiting for. So this this book, I Want My Hat Back by Jon Klassen. This is one of my favorite books. I never make it through this book without stopping to laugh. Miss Sarah can attest to that fact.
And she's read it about 5,000 times.
Oh my gosh. And I hope there's somebody out there who loves it as much as I do, because I think Sarah thinks I'm a little dark and twisted because I love this book as much as I do. But I'm going to read this whole book because I love it, and it's pretty short. And then we can talk about, as I go through, we'll talk about some of the things that you could do with your child to promote early literacy. So I Want My Hat Back by Jon Klassen. And even though Sarah wants me to, I'm not doing voices because voices are not good at voices. Just laying that out there.
And here's the thing, though. If you're not good at voices, you don't have
or
to
you
do
feel
voices.
self-conscious when you do voices.
You don't have to do it.
My hat is gone. I want it back. Just look at us. See, she's laughing. She's already laughing. Have you seen my hat? No, I haven't seen your hat. Okay, thank you anyway. It's a very polite bear. Have you seen my hat? No, I have not seen any hats around here. Okay, thank you anyway. So I'd like to point out there's kind of this pattern of have you seen my hat, this repeated phrase. If you want to get your child involved in the story, it's great to say, hey, maybe you could start, when every time we turn the page, you could say the first line, which is, have you seen my hat? And that way they're interacting with the book. Okay, this is where it all starts to fall apart. Have you seen my hat? No. Why are you asking me? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any hats anywhere. I wouldn't steal a hat. Don't ask me any more questions. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you anyway. I didn't say he was a smart bear. I said he was a polite bear. Now, at this point, you might say to your child, do you think Rabbit is telling Bear the truth? And why do you think that maybe Rabbit isn't telling Bear the truth? Have you seen my hat? I haven't seen anything all day. I have been trying to climb this rock. Surprised he doesn't say it's good to have goals. Would you like me to lift you on top of it? Yes, please. Have you seen my hat? I saw a hat once. It was blue and round. My hat doesn't look like that. Thank you anyway. Have you seen my hat? Yeah, we're not sure what this is. I'm thinking armadillo, but we'd have to actually ask Jon Klassen because we're not sure. Have you seen my hat? What is a hat? Thank you anyway. Nobody has seen my hat. What if I never see it again? What if nobody ever finds it? My poor hat. I miss it so much. And to incorporate the talking practice for early literacy we were talking about earlier, you might say, how do you think Bear is feeling when he's talking about his hat? And have you ever felt that way? Have you ever lost anything? And that gets your child talking about and relating the book to their own experiences. What's the matter? I have lost my hat, and nobody has seen it. What does your hat look like? It is red and pointy, and I have seen my hat. See, even Caitlin loves this book. So you could say to your child, why do you think that this I have seen my hat is written all in caps? I think it's because he's probably yelling it like ding, 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 the light bulb went on, and the red page showing his like, well, it's also the color of the hat, but it's probably his
eyeballs.
Here goes Bear. He's on a run. And I like how he goes back through all the animals in the order that he met them. You stole my hat. Again, we have the capital letters because we think there's yelling and strong emotion involved. I think a lot is communicated here with no words. I just love it. I love my hat. And here's where you might ask your child to make a prediction. Where do you think the rabbit went? Maybe they think the rabbit hopped away. I'm not sure. And then we turn the page. Excuse me, have you seen a rabbit wearing a hat? No. Why are you asking me? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen any rabbits anywhere. I wouldn't eat a rabbit. Don't ask me any more questions. Okay, thank you anyway. And then you could ask them, where do you think the rabbit is now? And why do you think that? And it ends happily for Bear, not so happily for Rabbit. And again, you can just tell I love this book. And I think because I love it, my kids love it. It's a great story to have your child retell to somebody else, a friend or someone in your family. And that way they can prove that they're understanding what they're hearing when you read to them. And my youngest actually read this to my dad. I say read, just because it's so repetitive. Like, have you seen my hat? Okay, thank you anyway. And he really had the whole gist of it, you know, from just the repetitive nature of it. So I can't say enough wonderful things about this book. And
That repetitive nature helps build their confidence.
Oh, it
so
totally
even if
does.
they're not quite a reader
He was
yet
so
and they're
proud.
just memorizing it, it
was so
helps
proud
build
to
their
read.
confidence that they know how books work. It makes them a better reader.
It does. And it's a fantastic book.
All right, so thank you for putting us up with us again for our second episode. And feel free to reach out to us with any questions, concerns, program ideas, book suggestions with a little bit of a dark side for Miss Nancy. We'll take all of it. You can reach us through email. I am runcos@einetwork.net.
And I am martin.n@einetwork.net. Thank you for putting up with us. again.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
great night. I guess it depends on how many times you play this video. Well, not this video, but other videos for them.
This video. Okay, so Sarah mentioned talking, and then reading is important because it increases your child's vocabulary. Books tend to contain, oh, it's wrong camera.
Which camera were you looking at? That one. Well, you can look at that one. You can look at both of them. Just don't look at that one.
Does it matter? I thought when I was speaking, okay.
Two little eyes to look around.
I don't know this one.
Oh,
You're on your own, sister.
I was going to sing it by
I'm
myself.
sorry.
Now
You were looking at me like I should be participating. Sorry. Sorry. I'm like, I don't know the song.
Oh, it's a hot mess, Anthony.